Coffee? Nah, I'm hyper enough. Okay, so I'm in front of the ledge. Christmas. Everybody is happy? Ha! I don't think so. 2020's been bad. Just 1 month left and that's it. We're out of here. Okay, so we know, a lot of people, my 5 viewers, don't know this, but in 1976 I rode a 10-speed bike around the Maritimes. In 77 I rode from Vancouver to St. John, Newfoundland, 5,300 miles in 50 days. And then I rode from Halifax to San Francisco, California, down to Florida, up to Nebraska, down to Texas, 9,000 miles in 8 months. I was 18 years old. We don't know, you know, I don't know how I survived, but I did, especially in Arkansas. Forest City, Arkansas, walking the bar, 200 black people, and me, haven't been a white guy there in a year. Okay, never mind that. So, but those were the days before Terry Fox. And people didn't do stuff to raise money. Now we have a guy, a little bit ADHD, worse than me. And we're going to find out what's going on. He's on a little venture. Come on here a minute. Yeah, go that way. How you doing?
Good. I'm going to bring this down a little bit.
Sure, go ahead. I got a mask on. Okay. Go ahead. So, you need coffee? You're not hyper enough?
No, not hyper enough.
Not hyper enough. Okay. And you are?
Brian Jones.
Brian Jones. And Brian Jones is a little bit hyper.
Sometimes.
And Brian Jones went through a desert,
Sahara, Gobi.
What did you do there?
Atacama.
What did you do there? You went,
it was ultramarathons.
No, you went through the desert. Just how long was that?
Well, the races are 7 days. So
7 days?
250 kilometers.
Why?
Well, I kind of like to get away. And it's hot. And,
really hot?
And generally there's a good cause that I can raise some money for. So
what was the cause?
Well, they all were different.
What was the cause then?
Sahara Desert was autism.
A little bit closer.
And
autism?
Autism, yeah. And then...
How much did you raise?
Oh, 100,000 probably, somewhere in that range.
100,000. Oh, by the way, this is a financial investment. What do you call yourself?
Investment advisor.
Investment advisor.
Yeah.
Okay, focus, Charles. So the money, you raised $100,000.
Yep.
And what was your next one? You went to down under.
Oh, well, that was just recently.
Yeah.
North Pole, I think, was the first one.
You went to North Pole too?
Yeah.
And you think you know a person?
Yeah. I think I keep telling you I've been to the North Pole. I just keep forgetting.
I'm too busy talking about me.
Okay.
North Pole.
Yeah. That was for Global Warming and Science East.
How much you raised there?
No idea.
How long that took?
Well, the ski to the, well, it just depends on how far you go, but I think it took a couple weeks.
North Pole. What was that? How long ago was that?
It was 2008.
Okay, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. And then there was, before that, it was Mount Kilimanjaro, which was for...
Where's that? Argentina somewhere? I don't know.
Tanzania. So it's in
okay.
Africa, yeah. We did that for, I think, South Devon School. We built a library there, so yeah, it was fun. Kilimanjaro's cool because you kind of start in a jungle and you work right up to from plus 30 to minus 20.
We don't want to lose our 5 viewers. Okay, so then you went to, finally, in the South Pole.
Well, South Pole and Mount Vincent.
And that one, I really followed that one. It was pretty scary.
Well,
you were sick right before you started.
Probably coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to know. I was sick for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were.
Living in a tent.
Living in a tent.
Minus 40. Pulling a 100-pound sled into the wind.
And this was for the hospital foundation, was it?
Yeah, definitely hospital foundation, mental, you know, sort of mental wellness.
People like us, man, you gotta be mental to do what we did or what we're doing.
Yeah, no, so I mean, you know, and there's a lot of problems out there. We're seeing it today, and we're seeing it.
Yes.
So, you know, people need to know that...
focus, Brian.
That we support them.
Okay, you raise how much?
Oh, that number is, again, that's a moving number, but it's probably well over 100,000 again.
100,000 again. Okay, so you would consider yourself maybe a nutcase to do what you're doing?
Well, I think everybody that doesn't do that is actually the nutcases. I would flip it around on everybody because, I mean, going to these amazing, beautiful places all over the world, like, you know, I love driving across the bridge in the mornings with my cup of coffee in traffic, but it kind of wears on you after a while.
It's just like me, if they see me in a big storm, walk into 2 bridges, and just, they said, what a nut walking there.
Yeah.
I mean, sitting is the new smoking.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are with their computer,
Yeah.
and they just, oh, well, how come you got a problem with diabetic? How come so many people are diabetic? They don't get out. They don't exercise. You know what I mean?
It's nice to get away.
Okay, so this is where this is. Oh boy, how much? I don't know. I can't see. The glasses are steamed up. What's your next one?
Well, the next one will be Mount Everest in April.
Why? Because it's there.
Exactly. So.
Come on. Oh, what? You?
Well, what you don't understand.
How old are you?
What you don't understand.
How old are you?
50.
50 years old.
Yeah. What you don't understand is the people that you meet at all these places are just amazing, and they drive you, and they believe that you can do amazing things, and you make excuses why you can, not why you can't. And so many times around here we sit here and complain about all these little minor things, and our world is so small here in Fredericton. And when you get out in the big world,
Oh, yeah.
and you actually escape this place, you realize that our problems here are quite small.
This is not a city.
Yeah.
This is a big town.
There's bigger problems than New Brunswick. Like, most people don't even know where New Brunswick is that I meet,
Oh, no,
live with in tents.
They know more about the internet.
They don't know where Fredericton is. They
No.
don't know anything about this place. It's like, what? It's a little grain of sand.
Yeah, it
and
is.
We get so caught up in our problems here, and they're
Yeah.
really quite minor.
Oh, I agree. 100. I've been saying that for years. But you have a family, whatever, and you have what's that word again? Oh yeah, responsibilities.
Well,
Why go Mount Everest?
well, because it's there's a few reasons why you go. It's to challenge yourself. It's to challenge other people.
Suicidal?
Actually, it's very planned out. All this stuff is like very planned
I'll
out.
get to that in a minute.
And there is some dangers, but you work around all those dangers. It's just as dangerous to drive to Campbellton in the wintertime.
You could cross the street here and get hit by a car.
You could get cancer. You could get all these different things. So
But he died, 35 years old. Found out he had cancer, and then they had to give him 6 months to live, and he died in 2 weeks.
yeah. So the people that I go with in these trips, like, I mean, they've done it every year, right? They do it, they plan it, they take you with you. You follow you do what you're told, and you get there and you do it. And when you get done, and it's hard. Don't get me wrong, none of this is hard, but when the feeling of accomplishment, and then generally what I try and do is take everybody with me via the internet, and they can follow it, and then all of a sudden these kids who think that they can't do things, all of a sudden some dumb rugby player from Fredericton does this, and they're like, I could do that. So inspires other people to do things.
I watched a show, and I told you, Mount Everest, they were looking for the 2 guys. They thought that was the first climbers.
Yep.
I didn't know it was the way they were explaining. It's not, okay, I made it, Mount Everest. There's thousands of people lined up. Now, how much does it cost to do that?
Well, the cost could be anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000. Just depends on the group that you would go with.
And that's run by China. China.
No, Nepal. You could go to China route, but I'm not going China. I'm going to Nepal.
Nepal.
Yeah.
Nepal is not part of China?
No,
So
different country.
different country, okay.
Different, more democracy. And generally the groups that I would go with are Western. The one I'm going with is actually an American/New Zealand company. So I just don't really trust the Chinese side. I've been to China a few times, and they can change rules and change things on you quite quickly. So.
Okay, so there's 2 ways to go up Mount Everest.
North side is China, south side is Nepal.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Hey, so you learn something new, and maybe he can learn too. Something new, I don't know. It's my ADHD, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I didn't know that, but there's a lot of people that's lined up and taking strokes,
Yeah.
and a lot of people died doing that.
Most of the people that actually die are actually the Sherpas, who actually set up the ropes and lay out the ladders, and they're the ones that actually die. The reason actually I'm going this year is because of COVID. I think there'll be less people there, so there will be a lot less of a lineup. And if you have enough oxygen, you're pretty good. If you don't go with enough oxygen and run out of oxygen, that's a problem in the death zone. Once you get above 25,000 feet, you don't want to run out of oxygen.
But they make sure you have the oxygen, right?
Well, some people just take just enough because they don't want to carry the extra weight. So I train a little harder, so I'll carry extra oxygen just because, and I'll probably end up giving it to somebody else because I'll probably get up and down in the time that I need to do it. But if I don't, I'll have extra to make sure that I have enough to get back down. And if I have extra left over, I'll give it to somebody on the way down that's having trouble that doesn't have it. So that's sort of always been my philosophy. So
Yeah, but there's a lot of people, like, it's no big deal now, like it used to be. From what I seen, they're all lined up. Okay, go up a ladder, and then go on top and have look. How long can you stay up there to enjoy the view until they say, hey, come on down, there's about 50 people waiting?
Well, once you get to the death zone, which is Camp 4, that's about 25,000 feet, so then you're on oxygen. So you really got about 24 hours to get up to the top and back down in that period of time. So, and it probably takes from Camp 4 about 12 hours to get to the top, then probably 6 hours to get back down. So you got a little bit of a window, but if you get stuck in that lineup, again, you could be another 12 hours. So again, you're getting over the 24-hour period. So, you know, you kind of just make sure you're with the right group, you go at the right time, and, you know, the weather forecasts are a lot better now. So, you know, a lot of people worry about it, and they go back to 1994 into thin air where the tragedy was because they went in the storm. So, I mean,
how many people died so far, do you know?
Probably
over 100?
200.
200?
Yeah, but most of them are, again, in the 90s when the Sherpas, and again, a lot of the Sherpas die trying to save other people because that's sort of their job, and they don't get paid a lot of money.
What do they call them?
Sherpas.
Sherpas.
So they carry all your stuff. They're moving the camps. They're setting up the ladders, those ropes that people go up on.
Yeah.
They set them all up, and you know.
So you really, really admire, what's his name, Haley? Sir
Hillary?
Hillary.
Well, I mean, yeah, he made it to the top without oxygen, and you know, back in the
him 40s? And his buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember when it was, but
How the hell did he manage that?
He must have been one tough dude. And you know, I can't imagine, like, we had the best equipment, right? Nice boots.
It's spoiled.
Yeah, like we're totally
like it's like a goalie. I used to play goalie.
Yeah.
My goalie pads, they weighed a lot of, it was heavy. When you slid both pads, that was a big save.
Yeah.
Now, the two pads, the goalie pads, it's nothing. The trapper is this big. I know we're changing issues here, but it's now today equipment, so now.
But it's still no joke. It's a very difficult climb. 50% of the people don't make it. They get sick. Once you get up at a certain level, you start to get pulmonary edema or cerebral edema with the pressure on your body. You just don't know how you're.
So when you train, you just go up Regent Street, then.
Well, you can't train for altitude here. You put on a lot of weight, and you just work on your mental training and your physical training, and you hope that you do the right acclimatization there, which you follow your guides to say go up, and then you go down, and you go up.
We're gonna do the snowstorm. You're just gonna go up Hanwell and all these boots and just go up Hanwell in the storm. And then the snowplow comes and jump by the side. Is that what you're going to do?
That's how you train to get yourself mentally strong, right? You go for an 8-hour walk. You've done it. Yeah. 8 hours is hard on the head.
You got music in your ears?
Sometimes I don't. If I do, I've gone around the dam, and that's 11 hours, right? No music.
No, but I mean, when you go up Mount Everest, you can have music in your ear?
Probably no.
No.
Because you got to be alert. Things are falling.
You got to be alert of your surroundings.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a flat area or something, you could maybe have one in and just to take your mind off. But you know, there's different areas where you can't. Like the Lhotse face is straight up, so that's probably 8 hours of just on a rope, and then things fall. So you got to be looking to make sure.
Climate change. It's dangerous. Avalanche.
Yeah, there's some avalanche areas, but not many, and they know where they are. So. There wasn't.
They know where they are.
Well, they know where the danger spots are.
Holy shit! I mean, what kind of? I mean, is this just a walk in the park? Or?
Well, they had an avalanche at base camp 2015, I think, and it killed a few people at base camp. And you think that's the safe spot, right? So there's just no real safe places in the world, even here, like we just talked about.
Yeah, no, we haven't been shot.
And part of the cause back to mental wellness, and we know about the shooter here in Fredericton. That sort of spurred me on to, try and get to these people, and inspire them to think about things instead of thinking everybody's against them and they should go shoot a bunch of people. So we try and do these things that actually get people's mind focused somewhere else, and that's part of the journey.
And you're proud that we're going to go up Mount Everest, and you are raising costs to have a portable washroom in downtown Fredericton, right?
Well, portable washroom would be a good idea. I mean, you can't. Yeah, I don't want to. But I mean, really, there's a few.
Have an idiot as a mayor, you won't get. Oh, sorry. I have to focus.
Our focus is on mental wellness, which having portable washrooms would help people that have mental illness. Because I mean,
nope. You think?
Well, I think it would make them have a little bit of comfort if they have to go to the washroom instead of in their pants. But we've got that. We're raising some money for Leo Hayes School. We want to raise awareness for First Nations too. So
What does First Nation has to do with going up Mount Everest?
well, all these, we're trying to help with mental wellness in all the areas, and we haven't always focused on our First Nations people. So there's going to be a component of that as well. I mean, I've talked to some of the kids over at St. Mary's, and it's a pretty dark place, just like everywhere else. So we want to inspire those kids, just like we want to inspire the kids on the south side or on the north side or at Leo Hayes and same at St. Mary's, or even the whole province.
You got a website?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We always have a website for every event, but it's just, we'll probably kick that off in January. So
And you're leaving when?
end of March. So it'll be 6 or 7 week expedition. So it takes 14 days to get to base camp. It's a 14-day hike to base camp. So just to get to there, it's a job, right? So it's a long, long uphill hike.
So you went to the South Pole. It was all
Well, it's slightly uphill.
slightly
It's into the wind.
in the wind, yeah.
It's minus 40, and you're pulling a 100-pound sled. So
So what do you do there?
What do you mean? What do you do?
Well, is it going to be minus 40 in Mount Everest? And
Well, at the top-
have you went? You're not going to pull the sled up Mount Everest.
Well, it's different because it's basically straight up, and it does get windy.
Are you a racist?
What do you mean by that?
Are you going to have a couple of, like you said, people from Nepal to carry all your bags for you?
Sherpas.
But I'm just sorry, I'm just being sarcastic.
So
here.
that's
going to get somebody to carry all your heavy bags.
well, they'll take some of my stuff to different camps, but that's their job.
That's their
right?
job. I'm just
So,
kidding. But I mean, I'm just saying, how come so you can't carry your own stuff?
Well, I could, but I just have to go up and down more, and it would take more time. Like there's people there right now taking stuff from Kathmandu to base camp as we speak. So I can't be there now and do that, right? So, and it takes you again 2 weeks to get to base camp.
Are
So
they
they'll
paid-
make 3 or 4 trips.
Are they paid good money to carry that?
In that country, they're paid really well, but I don't know what they would make, $10,000 a year. The average person in Nepal probably makes 3 or 4. So, and the really good Sherpas make really big money. They're hired by these big companies, so it is a major source of employment there. And those guys are very highly skilled, and they have
They
great.
know their job. It's not like
They're like little billy goats. They can climb that mountain, and they don't. They need oxygen too at some points, but they're well acclimatized to that, and their genetics are designed for it. And they're the ones that keep you alive until you have to go down.
It's not like when they had the blacks and the slaves 100 years ago down the state. It's not like that. They're well qualified people hired by company making good money.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, did I miss anything through my ADHD conversation?
No, I just would tell everybody to wear a mask.
We're doing good.
Keep your distance, which
Well,
we're not
yeah,
doing, but we got our
we're doing.
masks on, and yeah, I think people should be keeping their distance and washing their hands. And,
Never mind. That's another issue.
Well-
But the bottom line here, you are gonna go in March,
End of March,
end of March, and we'll be following you.
we'll have a website,
And
and I'm hoping I can update it every day, and maybe I'll get the GoPro because it should be interesting scenery. A little spooky at times, going across ladders with drop-offs, and it'd be nice to get to the top. But once you get up above, again, you're on oxygen at 25,000 up, so it's almost like you're in space.
there must be lots of videos up there on top of.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I've watched-
people,
I've watched-
GoPros and.
You can go on YouTube and see dozens of pictures of Everest climbs and people, and that's kind of how you learn too, by just observing it. You never really want to do something that you can't visualize, so it's good to see that and visualize it.
How much it costs again?
Well, it depends on the different things, but 30,000 to 100,000, and then you're looking at extra oxygen, and so I mean it can be expensive. It just depends on how you plan it out, and and then hopefully, I mean the game plan will be to raise lots of money as well.
Yeah.
So to maybe make that expense worth it, right?
So in Nepal, would it be cheaper than China? Or China could switch just
No,
like that?
they're about the same. The south one is a little bit, I would say, safer because everybody knows the routes. It's used more. The Chinese one, you can actually drive to base camp there, so that's at 17 or 18,000 feet. But it's a little bit more dangerous near the peak. There's a couple spots that you're really exposed and it's much more windy. So it's hard to say which one's, I would say the south one's safer just because there's more people there. And on the Chinese side, again, sometimes China can change the rules. You could be stuck up there and they might not come get you. So you just don't know.
And they sign, you agree to these blah, 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 about 10 pages long.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right? They're not responsible. If anything happens to you, you're on your own.
Every trip's the same.
Same thing.
Yeah. But you know, you got to trust the people that are with you, and that's another beautiful thing. But these guys are like my best friends at the South Pole, North Pole, Sahara Desert, and women. I didn't mention women. Like you know, the Chinese lady that was my tent mate in the North Pole. I mean, she climbed the highest mountains and skied to both poles.
Lots of female climb up the
Well, she was the first Chinese woman, and you know. It's funny, you meet someone for the first time, you talk about blind dates. It's like she was like my blind date. There's another lady named Annabelle Bond, a model, gorgeous. She was in my tent in the Sahara Desert and ran the ultra marathon with me. And,
I don't want to. No, Charlie, keep your mouth shut. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. You're not thinking about that because you're stinky, sweaty. So that's the last thing on your mind, right? And they were actually drivers, right? I mean, they're just like, you know, strong women that, you know, just amazing. Like, you know, you kind of see them, you're like, oh yeah, I'll probably be. No, they were pulling me along a lot of times. So
nothing better having these ADHD conversations. Where how the hell did we go from? I thought they were going to slow down.
Yeah.
That'll be good, my friends.
Yeah.
So nothing better having an ADHD conversation. We're from Mount Everest to the Sahara Desert.
And the Gobi Desert and the Atacama Desert and the South Pole and Kilimanjaro and did we forget any places? Running with the Bulls. We did that, so...
Bonne chance?
Bonne chance.
I'll shake your hand now with the... There you go. Bonne chance. Well, stay tuned. We'll do some more.